Welcome viewers to Migration Stories, which is produced by Northern Access TV for NatChat, our chat program at Northern Access TV. But today my guest is Khamlech Thongvilu. Thank you for coming in, Khamlech.
I'm happy to be here.
No, thanks very much, because we're hoping to find out a bit more about Laos, which is where you were born.
That's right, I'm born in Laos.
Which part?
I was born in the north near the border of Thailand along the Mekong River.
Ah, so is that a rural sort of farming area, or?
Yes, it's a rural town.
Okay.
Yes.
And you lived there the whole time, or?
I was there when I was young, very young, primary age.
Yep.
And I moved to the capital when I was about maybe 8 years old.
8?
Yes.
So your parents, your father, mother would have moved, they would have wanted to move to the capital?
That's right. We all moved to the capital.
Yep. And what was that for? For work?
Because my parents see it the way education is the way for the children.
Yes.
In remote areas such as my town,
Yes.
education is not good.
Yep.
So the only way is to go to the capital.
Yes. That was the best education option for
That's
them.
right, and also easier to make a living.
Okay. And how many children did your parents have?
Six, yes.
All right. And would that be typical for a Laotian family at that time?
Yes, very typical.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And how would you describe life? Is it sort of tough making a living, or?
It depends on how you look at it. You know, if you look on the surface, everything is calm, everything is slow, but life is hard.
Yeah. Life is hard, yeah.
Yes.
Because it's mainly a rural economy? Or?
No, because since the French took over Laos,
Yes.
and then the Cold War started after that,
Yes.
Laos is just a small country with, at that time, it's about 3.5 million people, and not much of an industry. So everything is not a fast life.
Yeah.
Everything is slow, you know, and then you don't have to work and you still survive easily.
Yeah. But of course it's hard to get ahead for education and
That's right,
those
yes.
reasons.
Yes, most of them are farmer and live of the nature. They
Yes.
live of nature.
So you were established then in the capital city for a while, and you got your kind of secondary education there, hey?
That's right.
And what field were you interested to study in? And what did the family study, and your brothers and sisters
We
too?
all, at that time, we are all studying at high school or primary school,
Yep.
mainly French. And then my parents see that the French influence in Laos is decreasing,
Ah,
and more American involvement,
yes.
and everything is English.
Wow.
So I was the first one in the family to switch to English,
Yes.
and then my sister brother followed too.
Oh, I see. Well, what an incredible time, because it was a French colonial,
That's right.
you know,
They were
occupied by
colonial.
French colonial
That's right.
government for quite a long time. And I guess everyone got sort of used to those French aspects of life, and of course the French language, hey?
Yes, at that time, official language is, I mean, the official people that they use French,
Oh,
but Lao is still the national language,
I've got you.
and the higher education at that time in Lao is in French,
Yes.
and then because American came in, also American, I mean
the
English.
French were there for
Since
really almost
Long
100
time.
years, yeah?
a long time,
Yeah.
long time.
So it was a very established thing. So that would have been a shock. The French kind of withdrew quickly.
Actually, they withdrew very slowly.
Oh, all right. Thank you for
They
that.
still have the MMF, the Mission Militaire Française in Laos, all of these things,
Okay.
and they still operate behind the scene.
Oh, all right.
But the American is in the front.
Okay.
So
Well, I know that in Vietnam there's a fantastic French legacy in the cooking there, probably in Laos as well. Interesting cooking and dishes.
not
and
so
things like
much
that.
in Laos,
Oh,
because
okay.
Lao is secondary to Vietnam.
So the family aspiration was to get a better education and start to make something better. of your life.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So what were the sort of idea behind migrating to Australia then? When did that pop up? Did your father introduce that subject?
My father already planned ahead, and he see that education is the best for the children, and to progress in the society, you have to be educated abroad. Abroad,
yeah?
Yes, because in Laos, the education is Form 6, that's it, done.
Not even a university.
Yes, and so I came here as a student. And then because the situation in Laos changed, the communists took over.
Mm-hmm.
And before leaving, my parents already told me that whatever it happened, if they took over, don't come back.
Yes, I see.
And soon after that, they fled to Thailand as refugees.
So they fled, your parents and your family, they fled to Thailand as refugees?
Yes.
And you were already here?
Yes.
Well, before we leave Laos, I mean, what's life in Laos like now? I mean, do you hear a bit?
Oh, in the early 80s, in the 70s, 75 onward to the to mid 80,
yep.
Life is very hard because there is iron curtain. The door, the window is closed.
I see.
And people live in fear. And the rule there at that time is by gunpoint.
Really?
Yes. Now they open up. Life is much easier.
Yeah.
Business is going. More investment from overseas going in.
Okay.
More things happening.
Okay.
But the thing is still the same. It's a communist country.
Yes.
Communist rule. And it's also controlled by the hierarchy of the communists.
Yeah. So people are very aware of that, hey, over there?
Oh, they learn. They've been conditioned since 75.
Wow.
You have to watch your word, everything. You can't demonstrate, you can't criticize, nothing.
My goodness. My goodness, Khamlech.
But things is changing, you know.
You're saying things sounds like they're improving and, you know, there are a few options and there's a bit more freedom and a bit more...
What the Lao people said is, even though it's a communist control, communist government, thing is, the communist is a capitalist communist now. I don't know how to say it.
We can talk about that after the break.
Yes.
Thanks very much. Stick around and tune in again after the break. Welcome back. Khamlech, we left the story at you had migrated to Australia. And how was that? Was that on a student visa or something?
No, I came as a student.
Yes.
And then I applied for residency PR,
yes.
As a refugees. In fact, I'm number 5 refugees, number 5 Lao refugees in Australia.
Really?
There's 4 people before me.
Oh, wow. Well, while we're on that, what was the process? It was fairly, straightforward. It would have been something new at that time.
At that time, God William was Prime Minister.
Yes.
And he says he's going to send us home.
Oh.
And then he was kicked out. Fraser come in.
Yep.
Fraser said you can stay. So I applied.
Wow.
And then I'm allowed to stay.
What a painful process, not knowing and whatever.
And then my family came to Thailand, into the camp as refugees.
Yes.
And it was very hard to sponsor it because you have to have money, all of these things.
Yeah.
So I just signed the form, sponsored them out, and very soon they were interviewed and they came.
All right, so let's go over this. So your rest of your family crossed the border into Thailand.
Yes.
And they stayed there.
Yes.
And then when you were here, you applied for them to come over.
That's right. They came across the river.
Yes.
And then...
The river from Laos to Thailand.
Crossed the river from Laos to Thailand.
Yeah.
And then they went into refugee camp.
Yes.
UNHCR.
So in a way, were they escaping Laos, or was it sort of the quiet of night?
You have to escape because if you are found escaping, you will be shot dead.
Oh my
Guaranteed
God.
you that.
Really?
Yes. There's no talk.
Because of course they want the people to stay in the country and
right.
build the nation, as it were.
I don't know why, but anyone who escapes will be shot dead.
Obviously,
Yes.
Mum and Dad knew that, and perhaps some
And
of the older...
then they all fled safely into refugee camp, and I sponsored them, and they came.
What a relief that would have been.
As the first group of refugees.
Yes. Well, congratulations. So, with your parents coming over, apart from the visas, when they came over, how long had you been in Melbourne?
Oh, you mean my?
How many years before your family joined you in Australia?
I think for 4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
So you knew a bit about it
Yes.
then?
Yes.
Must have been a joyful moment and quite a joyful time to be reunited.
It's not really a joyful. You feel safe. You feel safe, and they
see
feel
what you mean.
safe. Safety.
Also, was there also some sadness of things being left behind?
That's part of it,
Yeah.
a chunk of it, because my family have to leave everything.
Yes.
You name it:
Yes.
chicken, dog, bicycle, car, houses.
Everything that was built, all the
everything.
little things.
Yes, everything gone.
That is an element in so many migration stories, isn't it? But it's
Yes.
tough to do it that way.
That's right.
And so even though, life was sort of casual, easy, but it was psychologically and economically very hard.
Psychologically, is too hard.
Too hard.
Yes.
Too hard to live.
Yes, because you can't sleep at night.
Oh my goodness.
Any dog that bark in the street, you ask your question: are they coming for you?
Yes.
And children are not safe either, because the government always take them out maybe at night time until 10, 12 o'clock before they return the children home.
Oh.
And most parents worried about their daughter.
Well, is that for an education or for
some reason,
re-education?
for some reason, they take you out for something.
Really?
All sort of things.
Oh my goodness. It's just astonishing the things you learn about how things were in other countries. But when your family came here, there was joy perhaps at being here, a bit
Yes.
relief, but not so much sadness for leaving Laos, but perhaps did you feel that you were leaving part of your Laotian culture behind for good? It's all finished now behind you.
Even though I've been here for a long time, I still feel connected to the country.
Of course.
And in my life, Lao part of it is missing.
Yes.
And also Australian part.
Yes.
And the two is just, there's a frontier there.
Of course, yeah. It's not the finished story.
That's right.
Perhaps we'll talk a little bit later about your children and how that might be the finished story. But, I was thinking, with life in Australia, with your whole family, did you find work easily, quickly, when they first came? Was there, work at General Motors or something quick to get into?
My parents came out at old age, but the children went to school.
Ah, of course.
And when they finish school, they all get a job.
Well, was there no one in that middle age there? Like your parents were too old to work, and your brothers and sisters were young at school. Wasn't there anyone around that?
No.
Ah, okay.
No, and I'm the only two brothers. We all work. Me and another brother work.
Fair enough.
Yeah, all the rest is still at high school.
Yep.
And they all finished their school and they're all working.
Fair enough. Now, Khamlech, is there an area of Melbourne where the Laotian community have settled a bit?
No, not
Just everywhere?
not like in Sydney. Where they settle about Fairfield, Parramatta, Karamata, Liverpool. In Melbourne, they all scattered everywhere.
Ah.
And
Well,
our number in Melbourne is less than 2,000, I would say.
I see. Well, that's a bit of a pity,
Yes.
but we'll find out how, people can stick together. But you work at SBS Radio, yes?
Yes, I'm working at SBS Radio.
Doing the Laotian radio show.
That's right.
That must be such a fantastic thing for the
It's a
community.
challenging job.
Challenging job, yes, always. Balancing everything, but, they tune in for information in their own language and such like.
The Lao program, we have quite a high rating.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So the Laotian language is understood by many people other than Laotian people? Or?
They are understood by some Hmong, the elderly Hmong,
Yes.
and also the Thai, Lao, but
Right,
in Thailand.
from the east of Thailand as well.
That's right, Isan they call
And
it.
they understand that language.
Yes.
Of course, many languages we must understand in,
Yes.
But, so it's a popular program. That's very useful. What time's it on? What day and time?
Monday is 4 p.m. and Saturday is 9 p.m. 1 hour each.
Well, I hope many more people listen. Or Laotian speakers listen to Khamlech's program. And we'll be back after these messages. Welcome back, viewers. We're with Khamlech Thongvilu, who migrated here from Laos many years ago, and being the fourth or fifth Laotian person to migrate here, you would have seen the community develop in all these times.
Yes, at that time, we were here as students, about 30 of them.
Yes.
And I'm number 5 refugees.
So we know that the Laotian community is about 2,000 strong and spread around, but there's
No.
many more Laotian speakers.
No, not 2,000. All over the country, at the moment, roughly is about 10,000
Yeah,
people.
but in Melbourne it's 2,000.
2,000.
Oh.
And about 5,000 in Sydney and the rest in other states.
It sounds like you're pretty connected with the nationwide community. Are you?
I used to be very close to them, but I know the society well, I think.
Which society is that, Khamlech? What's the name of your Laotian
Before
society?
there's the first association in Victoria is called Lao Pathin Association, and now it changed, and few has been born. And Sydney, there are many organizations too now.
Many, okay. Well, that's great. And so, what are the sort of community activities that bring Laotian people together? Or is that not what a priority is? Is it more about getting out? What's the activities?
The Lao society all over Australia is very close, tight.
Okay.
But there's not much activities except maybe the International New Year and our New Year.
Yes.
Some Buddhist ceremony, all of these, where
Okay.
people get together.
Yes.
Apart from that, there's not much.
Fair enough. And, any Laotian festival? I suppose not, because it's a pretty small group.
Yes, not much, but they
Is
organize something like, the Lao New Year.
Yes.
And there's some festivity.
Yeah. And is there a culture of, Laotian style of music, film, theatre, dance? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, Lao is very rich in culture, like music. We have our own dance. Compared to the Vietnamese, they have no dance.
Oh, I see.
Like, the one they're dancing now, rock and roll, and all of these, they learn from the French.
Yes.
But our people have a typical Lao dance.
I
Have
see.
had many style, and our song is unique too.
Okay.
It's different totally from Western society or Vietnamese or Chinese,
Well,
and quite rich, in terms of culture.
and is there some performing artists with a name that maybe our viewers could Google, or is there something?
Yes, like Lam Vong.
Lam Vong.
Yes, and
He, she is a singer or dancer.
both.
Oh, wow.
And our music is like Khap Thung Luang Pabang,
Okay.
and also Lam Salavan,
Okay.
Lam Kon,
Ah.
and many Lam.
You've sparked my interest. I'll certainly be looking
Yes.
into it. Khamlech, what's it like raising your children in Australia? How much do they ask about your background, and what about the stresses of life in 4 million people in Melbourne?
I think I'm lucky in a way that I don't feel any stress, and I'm happy to have my children,
Yes.
and they are well educated, and then they are good people,
Good.
easy to control, even now, even they are adult, and they don't have any problem, drugs, nothing.
Okay.
So I think they
They
good
pay
children.
attention to their parents, and they're
I think they obey.
yeah.
They obey.
And so your children, how old are they roughly now?
Oh, they're in the 20s, maybe 25,
So
20 something.
just the world is their oyster. Now they talked about going back to explore Laos or anything like that,
No, I never heard of it. They never heard that.
but I'm sure they want to explore Australia.
Maybe because they're on the internet. I don't know what they're doing with their computer. They
Okay.
probably.
So what's your sort of a typical family day? Like, some people have it on a Sunday or a day off when you all get together. What happens in your family? Do you
We
all
all
go to
the
the
time
beach
together. We all the time together, mainly in the house.
All right.
But we don't go to the beach together. We have our own activity. Like my son might be doing something, his brother might be doing something, and I'm doing something. We are not doing something together.
And I guess here we are, Melbourne, but you know about Australia. Isn't it a wonderful thing that we have so many communities from so many different countries in, Melbourne? What do you think the future holds for Melbourne, Australia, with so many migrant communities coming here and adding to Australia here?
During my early time in the 70s and also in the 80s, the society here is not as rich as now. But now you have Indian, all sort of people, more, and you can see them in the street and so on and so forth. And before, to get sticky rice, I have to travel from Footscray to Lilleberg to get one.
That's tough.
But now you can find it in 7-Eleven everywhere. So thing had changed, and the society is more richer in terms of a culture, multicultural.
Yes, which it makes everybody's life better, I think.
In a way, it's good this way, but some people might see not that way.
Some people might not, but eventually, because, people have more choices, more things to discover, and I'm sure that every people has something to contribute. Recently, it was talked about how people must have Australian values, but I'm wondering, why must we have Australian values? Why can't we have values that we're developing together?
In fact, most of people in Australia do not know what is the value, Australian value.
What
is
our
it?
Australian
Is
values?
it beer or is it cricket or football? No one knows.
Well, I think they're in there. But we're all discovering, don't you think?
Yes, we are learning and discovering all the time.
And you've added to that for us all. So thank you very much for coming to Australia with your family and for coming here today.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Khamlech.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, viewers. My name's Richard Mikolev. Thanks very much to Northern Access TV for producing Nat Chat and this series, Migration Stories. Tune in again at the same time.